Welcome to Creative Manifestation. Today I wanted to talk about perception and how perception creates our reality. And I wanted to delve into this concept because I feel like it's really important as far as creating our reality goes and manifestation. So what perception is our view of reality. We're viewing reality through a certain lens, and that is going to influence how our reality plays out in the material world. So, for example, here's our world. Here's your reality, your 3D reality you're living in. And then here's you. Okay? And you're looking at reality from this angle. And that angle of looking at your reality is going to affect how you feel about your reality and the situations in your reality that play out too. So there's also like an internal perception and an external perception. So oftentimes we're viewing our external world like on the material level, like what's happening in my life, what do I have, what am I doing, those external things, where do I live, who am I with, like those types of things. But really the most important thing is the internal perception. So the internal perception is how we feel about ourselves, self-image, basically, it's your self-image. That's the internal perception. And that is actually the most important thing. Because if you have an internal perception of someone who is, a failure or not worthy or low self-image, that's going to project out into this external three-dimensional reality. So that's why it's so important to know what your internal perception is, and why like identity shifting and those types of things are really powerful, because if you don't like your identity inside, if you don't like the perception of yourself really inside, then that's something that can be worked on, and that in turn will create an external three-dimensional change. So then you're viewing your external world from this angle instead of this angle. And that is very important. So perception is created. How is our perception of ourselves created? It's created through our beliefs and through programming from our environment and upbringing. Usually the programming occurs in the ages 0 to 7, because that's when we're in a hypnotic state of receiving information, and that's programming your subconscious mind of your identity and who you believe yourself to be, your self-esteem. And then in turn, through life, we have these experiences that mirror back to us those beliefs. Then that is reinforcing the beliefs that you hold about yourself. So that's why self-perception is more powerful than even your perception of the external reality. But the external reality is a reflection of the internal perception you have. So that's another reason, say you have a job that you don't like, okay? Say you have a job you don't like and the people there undermine you and you're not empowered there. You can't have your creative ideas or thoughts. People don't listen to you. They don't respect you. Something like that. And then you're like, oh, I got to get another job. These people are terrible. I can't stand this atmosphere. So then you go to another job. And you have the same experiences with being undermined. You don't have the creative, expression you want. People aren't respecting you. They're not listening to you. And the reason that that's being recreated is because your internal beliefs and perception of yourself have stayed the same. And that's why, like, people say you take yourself with you. So, like, if you move to a new location, you're probably going to attract similar people, similar situations, similar jobs, whatever it is, because you haven't really changed the internal perception of yourself that mirrors, that your reality is mirroring. So that's why the perception is so important, and internal perception is really important. So what are the things that we can do to change our self-perception? And that can take a long time, honestly. Like, I feel like, it's the intention. I'm going to write intention as a huge piece, because having the intention of changing your self-perception is the first thing. It's the most important thing. You have the intention because you want to change your external reality. So that is number one. Then taking steps. These are some of the things that I learned to do were like self-hypnosis, meaning like, doing like when you're falling asleep, guided hypnosis or affirmations. Because during that time when you're falling asleep, you are in a hypnotic state similar to when you were age 0 to 7. So that's when you want to start reprogramming your self-perception and gearing those meditations, affirmations towards that specific topic would be really helpful. Another way to see yourself in a different perception is to do things like taking chances in a way that represents the person you want to become. So if you are afraid to do something specifically that's in alignment with who you want to be, then taking those chances and doing those things will help you change your self-perception. And like kind of going out of your comfort zone, that's a very big thing. Because if you think about, your daily life and your daily routines, most people, they don't do anything different in their life. They're always going to the same places, they shop at the same stores, they, drive the same routes to work, they go to the same, places, they talk to the same people. It's like this repetition of things that you're doing over and over and over again that's ingraining this perception, self-perception in even more. So if you break out of that and do something different, something new, with the intention of it being in alignment with the person you want to become and have the perception you want to have of yourself, that is the most powerful way to do it. So you want to go in alignment with that vision. And that's getting clear on what is that perception that you want to have of yourself. And then what would you do? What would that person do to get in alignment with that perception? So there's a lot that could be said about this topic. It's very powerful, this topic of perception. So I'll probably touch on it again in the future, but I just wanted to mention those things about perception. And if you like this content, please like and subscribe.